How are you today, Mayor?
Good morning. How are you, Joe?
Doing well, thanks. Thanks for checking in on this bright but brisk morning.
Yeah, no problem. This is a little bit more reality, right?
Oh, yeah, it is November, after all. Boy, the weather could not have been nicer for all of the fantastic veterans events over the weekend.
Indeed, indeed. It was really a wonderful weekend honoring the veterans of our city, and particularly the Gold Star families with Saturday's event. Appreciate the work of so many that worked so hard to put it together. Various committees, the Monument Committee, the Parade Committee, the Event Committee. Really, it's an outstanding monument done by Bob Shore of Skylight Studios down on the North Shore. But he worked with the committee for several months a few years ago, and fell behind with COVID and everything else. But I tell you, it was a very meaningful day, and I hope it's a monument that will be one of healing for a lot of people. Because as you know, Joe, this latest era that we were honoring, Persian Gulf Forward, Iraq, Afghanistan, Global War on Terror, this is the first time in the city that we're really honoring and recognizing the men and women who served in that era. And we did have 7, members of the military who died in service during that time period. So we will never forget them. But also, in a real way, honored those who are still with us who served, did their duty and served. We can argue about the war, just or not. The reality is we have a voluntary military, and it's 1% of the population of this country actually serves. So grateful for all that they do for us.
Yeah, and I mean, if you think about it, it's been almost 35 years now since the first incursion in the Gulf. So it's those folks are now in their early mid-50s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So very, very nice, and it's a stunning monument too. And that whole veteran section at Mount Wollaston has just been transformed. It's amazing.
Yes, I'm really, really thrilled and delighted with it. It's a special place. The cemetery is beautiful anyway, but the way that lays out on the hillside there, and then, of course, what we did, realigning the monuments and putting the flags in for each of the branches, and of course, this coming spring, the cherry on the top will be the new archway that's going to go up over the granite blocks at the top of the entrance off of C Street. It's going to be magnificent. So it's really a beautiful, beautiful cemetery, and a historic one. And these projects were done mostly with federal money. So I said when we got some of that federal money, Joe, I was going to do some things that we wouldn't normally do with regular tax money. And there's a good example of this project.
Yeah, absolutely. And the parade, I think, was probably one of the longest in a long time yesterday.
It was, yes, it was indeed. We had, I think, every scout in Quincy was certainly there. ROTC cadets, of course, several bands. Of course, my favorite is the Quincy North Combined Marching Band. They were just absolutely terrific, as usual.
Yeah.
They played Saturday as well at the monument dedication. They did the national anthem and the military medley. They were terrific.
They have come a long way, for sure. I know for a minute there I had to stop and think, wait a minute, is this the Christmas parade? When is this going to end? But beautiful day and a great tribute, and a wonderful keynote speaker in James Kroll as well.
Colonel Kroll, absolutely.
Yeah.
Quincy Point guy. He did a very nice job.
Sure. Mayor, can we speak a little bit about the items on the council agenda this evening, in particular the funding for the new Squantum School? Is this the official request now for the total funds?
Yeah, this is the official request now that all the final approvals have been done by School Building Authority. And, we expect to receive around $39 million in reimbursement from that program. There are projects in and around the Squantum School as part of the school project that we're doing, including a major public works drainage issue that's been affecting that neighborhood for a while. So we're dealing with that issue. We're also going to put the utilities that are out in front of the school underground, get them out of the way, if you will. So, yeah, it's a comprehensive, certainly, program to replace that building. And the costs, it's tricky. It's a little higher than I'd like to pay, but costs right now are really crazy high.
Yeah.
But the other complication here is we're trying to keep the kids there while the construction's going on. So we're going to be renting portable classrooms and part of the transition, it gets a little complicated. It gets costly.
Yeah.
We certainly didn't want to disrupt the kids, sending them to schools all across the city. That wouldn't make sense at all. So, I'm concerned about the price, but we'll look back in 10 years and say, how do we build it for that cheap amount of money? Just the way it goes.
It's let's see, almost 109 million, and then $4.5 million for the electrical work. So yeah, it's comparable to the Quincy High School cost, as I recall.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
That was 11, 12 years ago now, but even longer, I guess.
Yeah.
But time goes by quickly.
It certainly does. Yeah. So.
But it's the last school that is in dire need of replacement. This will be, as you know, a fifth new school. Quincy High School, Central Middle School, Southwest were big projects and all very important projects in the mix. But, we've done a lot of work, as you know, to the old buildings, Montclair and Wollaston and Parker, and spent a lot of money in bringing those up to standard, and they're in good shape. But, this was the school. This school was never built quality, and the additions that were added were certainly not quality. It's a very linear building and has all kinds of challenges. So everybody agreed unanimously that this building needed to be replaced. So here we are. So let's move forward.
Yeah, including the state agreed as well after looking at it. Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah. Speaking of schools, maybe we chat a little bit about the future of Eastern Nazarene College. They just this week I noticed are auctioning off all of their commercial kitchen equipment, so the closure is definitely pending.
Yeah, it's becoming more real as we see actions like that, for sure. We had a phone call last week or the week before with the president and the chairman of the board and a couple of their legal consultants, and just trying to stay on top of the issue and stay informed to see what their plans are. I know they're entertaining brokers, as I understand it, or perhaps even entertaining proposals, but that has not been shared with us yet. So we'll see it as it goes.
I know you've said you would use eminent domain if necessary. How would you make that determination?
I guess we'll see what happens with what they come forward with. And, as I've said before, Joe, I hope they're practical and realistic and don't think they're going to be putting in, 500 or 700 units of housing and jam it in that site in a residential neighborhood. So, and as you know, practically speaking, we are looking at the gym and the field that could be great additions and assets to the city and Quincy College, and perhaps Quincy College finds some use down there. The library is gorgeous. Maybe that becomes a replacement for the Wollaston Library. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to look at this, and that's what we're doing right now. Everything's on the table.
Yeah. It's certainly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for sure for everybody.
Indeed. Yeah. Absolutely.
Also tonight, Mayor, the City Council will be honoring Dr. Ed Fitzgerald for his many years of service at the Historical Society.
One of my all-time favorites.
I love Dr. Ed. He's great.
Everybody loves Dr. Ed.
Yeah.
He's really a unique Quincy gem. I mean, he's remarkable, and the work he's done to keep it together. I mean, we're fortunate to have the Park Service in Quincy, but the Quincy story really is preserved and told by the Quincy Historical Society. And Ed's been doing that for a long time, and never got big pay for it. That's for sure. Nonprofit like that, they had to struggle to keep things together and keep it moving. And he's just remarkable. Anytime I have a question or about anything Quincy related, he's the go-to guy, and usually has the answer off the top of his head. He's a remarkable individual, wonderful human being. So I'm certainly happy that the council's recognizing him tonight.
Absolutely. Still serving in an emeritus role as well, so I'm sure he'll never be far from the society, for sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thanks for your time, Mayor.
Always a pleasure, Joe.
Talk to you next week.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.